brother, always leading from the front, which is a great sign of leadership. Circle of Champions member, Senior Vice President. Welcome, Mr. Michael Mazer. Mike, thanks for being on today's call, buddy.
Greg, thank you for having me on today's call, and I'm just humbled, honored, and privileged to be on this call. And want to thank our organization. Without them and what they do, we wouldn't be where we are today. And hey, Greg, we're back. And we're back to the magic of live events. Yeah. Look, how many of you are watching this call today, hearing the excitement in Senior Vice President Chanel Burt? Hearing the excitement in Regional Director, Mr. Mark Washam. Hearing the excitement in Regional Vice President Alejandra Cowman or Platinum Regional Vice President Melissa Street. See, these guys have been doing this business for a while, but you can generally hear their excitement. How would you like to have that same excitement going through your organization? See, this is what live events do. You know, my brother and I got really good at one thing. Getting people to live events. Because here's what I realized. Your first day in ACN is not till you go to a live event. Can we all agree? How many of you made a decision at a live event? How many of you made a decision? That decision was go from ETL to Regional Director. Or you were sitting in a live event and that decision was to go from Regional Director to Regional Vice President. Or that decision was to go from Regional Vice President to Senior Vice President. See, that's what live events do. And I remember when one of our mentors, Mr. Tony Kupas, called Patrick and I, and he said, hey, we're going to go back and start doing these Emerge events. Now, look, when my coach calls me, I don't ask why. I ask how, when, where, what do we got to do? Because here's what I realized. Prior to ACN, guys, I was broke selling cars. See, they were Mike Mazer's ideas. That's where I was in life. But when I got into being coached by some of the best coaches in this industry, the co-founders of this company, life changed. And I was so excited. And I said, okay, great, let's do these live events. And, you know, we went to New Jersey and we went to Cleveland and our team got together and our team recruited and brought people to these events. And here's what I saw. Every event, things happen. People came out of those events excited. People came out of those events rejuvenated. People came out of those events wanting to put people in front of their ACN business. Like their belief was never higher. I remember we were in California. We had 77 people at that event. That night, you know, after the event, as an organization, we got together. And what do? Keep the main thing the main thing. We scheduled PBZs. And, you know, the PBZs we scheduled, I think we scheduled a couple hundred PBZs out of that small group of people. And we all fixated on going to Dallas. We all committed. We all got our tickets to go. We all committed to go. And we said, okay, great. We're going to use this event in California to springboard into Dallas. We're going to make Dallas the biggest event that the ACN has ever seen, you know, in these Emerge events. And, you know, that's what we did. But here's what we realized. You can't put people in events unless you're sponsoring people. Can we agree with that? Look, you can only bring the old people so much. You need to bring new life into the business. You need to bring new people into the business. So I said, look, let's all commit and bringing new people. And this starts from the top down. You know, we actually put out a challenge to our regional directors. If they could do 25 IBOs, any regional director that did 25 IBOs from the beginning of October till November, they would qualify for a special dinner Friday night before the event. Then we said, hey, let's extend it out to anybody that hit regional director in between the last event and this event. And then let's go find the new leaders. Any ETL that can put in 10 IBOs from October to November, we'll invite them to that event on Friday night. See, here's what we found. Now, as an ETL, it didn't count what happened to your team. It had to be open line business. So can we agree? You got to go out and do something. And we had over 45 people that ran, that worked hard, that did Zooms, that committed to their business, that qualified for that event. You know, now think about it. If you look back, 80% of our production came from that handful of individuals that made a decision to run. Then we rolled it into the Saturday Emerge event. And here's what I want to say. That was one of the greatest events. And I've been in ACN 19 years, almost 20 years. I've seen a lot of conventions. I've seen a lot of events. That was one of the greatest, if not one of the greatest events that I've ever attended. Why? We had some of the greatest trainers, and it was an intimate event. See, look, when we were doing big events, you couldn't shake you couldn't shake Tony Kupas' hand. You couldn't shake Robert Stefanowski's hand, but they were at that event so people could interact, people could learn from the people. It was a great event. And after the event, we'd had a dinner. And what we did is we brought our whole organization together to not only recognize people that have done extremely well from the last event, not only in customer production, but team trainer production, but we also took that time to schedule Zooms. See, can we agree that the excitement of the event only lasts so long? Can we agree when you leave the event, what happens? Life gets in the way. You're going back to your life. But if we can schedule Zooms with people, here's what we found. They have a goal. They have something to focus on. We literally scheduled 490 Zooms between Monday and Friday of this week. Now think about the momentum that's going to be created for that. And on top of that, we had an event at my house on Sunday. We had a brunch. We had over 450 people there. I got to meet the local police. It was great. They're coming to a Zoom. But, understand that these events can literally change your business. I mean, these events is what took Patrick and I to where we are. I watched Jeff and Melissa Street. I mean, these guys are one of the top, I think, the #2 regional vice presidents in all of ACN for team trainer production. They got the #1 regional director for team trainer production. And here's why. They had 200 plus people at the event. See, here's what I do know is all you got to do is get them from where you are to where that event is and let the event go to work for you. See, I didn't want to work harder. I wanted to work smarter. How many of you know what I mean? How many of you want to have excited people? How many of you want to have people saying, hey, look, my Zoom's Tuesday at 8 o'clock. I'm going to put my best people in front of this. How many want to have people say, I remember on Saturday night, we promoted a regional director, Mr. JJ Helm. JJ hit regional director, but he went up and shared his story. And here's was his story. When he goes, I went to a live event and I made a decision. I came back. He put 44 people on a Zoom. Let me say that again. He put 44 people on a Zoom. 8 people, I think, got started that night. And that's what launched his business to be promoted as a regional director at the last event. So here's what I can tell you. How many of you want to know the shortcut to regional vice president? How many want to know the shortcut? Make sure you have a minimum of 4 legs represented in Atlanta, Georgia. See, here's what I do know. You have 4 legs represented. Those legs are going to come back. They're going to explode. The people are going to have the vision you have. They're going to want to go out and build a huge organization side by side, arm in arm, and hand in hand with you. Now, look, when they told me that, I remember when Pat and I were regional directors and they said, man, you got to have 4 legs at the event. We took 8. You know why? Because I wasn't that smart at school. But I said, man, if I could get half of them to come, if only 4, if only 50% of those legs come, we're naturally going to hit the next position of regional vice president. It's literally that simple. Draw it out today. First, get yourself pre-registered. 2, draw it out. And don't just take one person a leg. Take multiple people in a leg. See, think about it. We all have car insurance, don't we? We all have health insurance. We all have homeowners insurance, right? And we all have identity theft protection. Now, why do we have those things just in case? How many of you want to have business insurance? That takes more than one person in each leg to that event. And before I end this, I want to just read a book that I'm reading. And this thing just hit me today as I did my personal growth this morning. It says, average people have a worldwide view that says being comfortable with who they are and where they are in life is the key to happiness. Average people. Now, the great ones, above average people, champions, here's what they realize. They have a worldwide view that says happiness is learning, growing and becoming. School is never out for champions. The more they learn, the more they realize how much they don't know. Guys, at this event this weekend, there was a trainer there. His name's Cowboy, and he trained on stage, and he reminded me on how much I don't know, on how to keep this thing simple. So no matter what level you are, you can learn. Keep growing, keep striving, keep going. And I'm looking forward to seeing you all in Atlanta. And this will be the #1 network marketing company in the world globally. And with that being said, Mr. Provenzano, thank you for all you do and continue to do. I'm going to throw the Zoom back to you.
Mike, thank you, buddy. And what a great ending message that was, everyone. I got to tell you that hopefully you've recorded some of this, you've taken great notes on what just took place for the last hour and a half, because this information, I don't know if it could be any more important of information that you just received in order to advance your business. I really don't. I mean, you look at this, look at all aspects of what took place today. What did you learn? What did you glean from the last hour and a half? The majority of it had to do with two things. Number one, belief, and number two, excitement about what you do. And when you have those two things and you decide to go to work, make a decision to go to work, today can be that day. You'll be amazed at what can happen when you bring those two qualities to the marketplace. Yes, events are important, and I believe in events, but you can make the decision right now about doing something great. And if you can't be as excited as all the people you heard from today, at least borrow the belief and excitement that you heard. Borrow it from them. How can one person be totally sold out and jacked up about the ACN opportunity, and at the exact same time, with the exact same comp plan, with the exact same industry and the exact same services, everything's the same, the other person be totally just in their shell and negative and not knowing whether or not what they want to do? How does that happen? It stems from your belief or non-belief in what you're doing, and that's what you have to put in check. Here's my question to you. What mode are you in? Are you in retreat mode? Are you in preservation mode? Or are you in growth mode? What are you in? Only you can make that decision. Only you can decide. See, there's a huge difference, everyone. This is huge in regards to the results that you get. There's a huge difference between playing and working to win and playing and working just to preserve what you got. See, I believe for the last 18 months, there's a lot of people that were in the mode of playing not to lose. And when you're in that mode, you can't attract. All you're doing is you're trying to corral everybody and just trying to bring everybody in close to you so that you can maintain what you have. I'm telling you, there's no such thing as maintenance, folks. You're in one or two modes. Either you're growing or you're dying, and there's no in between. Preservation is retreat. Preservation is going backwards. Growth is where everything happens, and that's what we talked about today. The events that are in place are to help you to increase your belief, to increase your vision, to increase the fortitude that you have inside of you. It's all designed to build you up. But I'm telling you, you can do it with one decision right now to jumpstart your business. That's why I question Melissa Street. What would you tell someone that is not in growth mode, but wants to be in growth mode, that wants to win at ACN so bad? And all she said was, you got to talk to people. Get back to the mindset of the very first day that you joined ACN. Do you remember how excited you were? And I know that those of you that, every one of you are RDs and above, that means you've been around a little while. And you know that the season that we're in right now has never been greater. Never. And so if you were excited then, how much more excited can you be now? And what are you going to do about it? I will challenge you to step into growth mode like you've heard from for the last hour and a half. Our vision has expanded in a big, big way. the balance of 2021 is going to be spectacular. Yes, Atlanta is going to be great. It's going to be sold out. We've already sold out the room blocks. The event's going to be sold out. The Game On event on the 11th of December is going to be world-class training. I wouldn't miss either one, and that's going to help. It's just going to help build momentum for the balance of 2021, but it's going to be totally up to you after those events to lead from the front, to close out this year strong, and to go into 2022 with a tremendous amount of momentum. Yes, it is. Again, it all boils down to you. What are we going to do individually and collectively? And I don't believe that there was any greater information that you could have gleaned from today's call than those two very important qualities that you need to adopt, which is a high level of belief and a high level of commitment and a high level of action, which turns into excitement, which you start attracting all these people. It's amazing what happens. And so I love this season that we're in, folks. In fact, I love the season that's going to start next week in the United States. It's Thanksgiving. It's one of my favorite holidays on the calendar. I'm thankful every single day. I wake up grateful every day. I wake up thankful every single day for what the Lord has given me. But on that Thursday next week, it's a time in the U.S. for just to reflect and to think about how blessed we truly are. Number one, to live in this great country. Number two, to be a part of this company. Number three, to associate with greatness that you've heard from today. I mean, it's amazing the lives that we live today. And so I want to, on behalf of myself and the rest of the co-founders, the executive team, I want to wish all of you a very happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. I hope you enjoy yourselves for the day. But aside from that, everyone, let this day, let November 17th be a day that you'll look back on and know that something special happened on that day because you raised your level of belief and excitement about what you're doing. That's it. And I would want that to happen for every single one of you. Let's close out this month strong, everybody. God bless you. Happy Thanksgiving. Great being with you. And I can't wait to talk to all of you in the next couple of weeks. Have a great day, everyone. God bless.
Happy Thanksgiving.